The time has coming fast for Monday, March 19th, 2018, regular council meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman May.
Present.
Alderman Velco.
Present.
Alderman Taylor.
Present.
Alderman Bolton. Alderman Seager.
Present.
Alderman Mozio.
Present.
Alderman Villalobos.
Present.
Alderman Newsome.
Present.
Alderman Tempest. Mayor Cunningham.
Present. Everyone please rise as Deacon David Ohanian will, from St. George Armenian Apostolic Church located at 1015 North Macquarie Road in Waukegan, Illinois, will lead us in invocation, immediately following with the Pledge of Allegiance.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Father, I'm praying for the Honorable Mayor Samuel D. Cunningham, Jr., the very distinguished aldermen and alderwomen of Waukegan. Give these who are in authority wisdom in every decision. Help them to think clearly. Grant them discernment and common sense so they'll be strong, effective leaders. Help them to lead and govern with integrity, and may their integrity guide and keep them on track. Father, be merciful to these leaders and help them to become spirit-filled and follow your principles. Direct their steps according to your word, for their decisions have a great impact on lives of the good citizens of this fair city. May they defend the oppressed, protect the virtuous, and discipline the wrongdoers. Please give them the wisdom to enact laws and regulations that foster an environment where every citizen can flourish spiritually, socially, and physically. Help them to see that they are your servants first and foremost. And please empower us as citizens to give them the respect due their office, whether or not we agree with their political positions. Lord, turn their hearts to accomplish your will. I ask you to turn their hearts so that your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Janet, the official.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deacon. Deacon David, appreciate it. All right, the first order of business, Mayor's comments, is Girl Scout cookies. They are out front, so I'm helping out with the salesman. Thanks, they're waving. Thank you, ladies. All right. There was a call to the mayor's office to see if the young ladies could sell Girl Scout cookies, and they wanted to go downstairs. I told them, my salesman came in, why don't you come upstairs where everybody's gonna be walking in? So they did. So thank you very much, ladies, for coming in, and I surely appreciate it if you stop out and do that. I know that feeling when Sierra and Samantha was there. You know, I like the better. I like it better than selling the cookies. It's the delivery was a monster. You had to get all these bags and labor them and everything, but hey, there we go. Again, thanks for coming tonight. This Saturday, the City Hall will be open from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. for you to purchase your city stickers at an early bird special still in effect, $40 and other business. Please stop by traffic window number 2. Is that, Chief?
Yes, sir, that's good.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
Upcoming events, Genesee Theater will be hosting upcoming Boys to Men. It's coming to Waukegan on Thursday, March 22nd at 7:30 p.m. My staff checked today, and there were still some tickets available this morning. On Friday, March 30th, legendary piano player Chick Corea lets me know. Am I dating myself? Chick Corea will be in town with jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra. Cole's Museum pop-up, I don't know what that's all about. Cole's Museum pop-up. Jane, that was it?
Stephanie's coming up to the microphone.
And Stephanie's coming up to the microphone. for Coles Museum. I think she's going to give us a brief report. All right, Stephanie, you're on cue. Thank you. Everyone remember Stephanie from the Coles Museum. She's going to give us some information about the pop-up museum we had at the Urban Edge. Stephanie?
All right. Well, thank you so much, and I have some handouts here for everyone. So in the month of February, Cole Children's Museum had a pop-up museum at Urban Edge. We were here a few months ago, talked about it, and I appreciate everybody's support with that. I want to give you a brief update on what happened in the month of February. So with our pop-up, we had a total of 2,462 visitors that came through the month of February. That was 1,544 children, 918 adults. The pop-up was open for 27 days in February. We closed for President's Day because we had some staff that we needed to take care of things at the museum. We had 8 family weekend days and 2 weekend evenings. There was no admission for families to come into the pop-up. Visitors ranged from as far north as Racine and as far south as the north side of Chicago. But the largest attendance came from Waukegan, Beach Park, Grays Lake, Gurnee, and Zion zip codes. And you can see the numbers here of where our visitors came from for the families. School groups, so we had field trips on every weekday that the pop-up museum was open. There was no fee for field trips, but groups did have to find their own transportation, whether that was school buses or child care groups that had, let's say, a child care van, that type of thing. We had a total of 51 field trip groups that attended the pop-up museum, a total of 785 children and 250 adults. The majority of the field trip groups came from the Waukegan zip code, the 60085, and you can see in the chart here. There were some Beach Park, North Chicago, and Grays Lake field trips as well. On the second page of this, I just want to go through a little bit of the feedback from the families and from the school groups. So of the families, 94% strongly agreed with the statement, "My children enjoyed their visit to the pop-up museum." I have a couple comments that I have selected out. Lots of fun educational things to reach both my 3- and 6-year-old. Gave me and my son a lot of one-on-one time exploring the museum, very family-oriented. It was so therapeutic and relaxing. Very happy to see this in Waukegan. Close to home and great for our community. Those were the family comments. The teachers, 100% of them agreed that the exhibits were engaging for their students. Their comments included, all of the exhibits and activities were great. The staff was awesome. They interacted great with our students and were very helpful. Students had fun. They didn't want to leave. Great opportunity for kids to use imagination, creativity, and problem solving. And so thankful to have something hands-on for our students in our town. Thank you. And the last page is another cute picture of one of the kids that came to the museum. So I just want to thank the mayor. I want to thank everyone on the city council. I especially want to thank Dave Motley and Jane for their help. There was also some great community support. So the Waukegan Public Library came on the family days and did story times and handed out resources for the families. The Waukegan firefighters also came and played with the kids during the weekend, so that was a lot of fun. They gave the kids tours of the fire engines, and it was just great to see them there, so thank you.
Well, thank you, and I know that you and I and David and James are going to be sitting down with some other ideas of where we can go with this, so I look forward to that. It sounds like our community does it well, in from abroad. Are there any questions from the questions or comments from the alderman?
You're coming back, right?
We are doing an internal evaluation as well and looking for additional funding. So this was funded by the Gorder Family Foundation and the Golder Family Foundation. And so, you know, this isn't cheap to do, so we're hoping to be able to come back and bring it back. On the last day we were here, I was starting to clean up, we'd closed up. I was getting kind of emotional because we had such a great time. And as I closed the doors, 2 little girls walked up and looked at the calendar we had sitting there, and they said, "Oh, you're closed?" And I said, "Yeah, we're closed," trying to fight back tears. And they said, "So when do you open tomorrow?" I thought, oh, they're gonna kill me. I said, well, we're only open for February. They said, well, next February then. You'll open next February? And I said, yeah, sure, we'll do that. So hopefully we'll be back. Yeah.
Okay.
Alderman Villalobos?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I got occasion to go twice, once for the opening and another weekend I popped in there before you opened and was looking at the space. And the staff were coming in, I got to engage with them and talk to them some, and I noticed families that were walking up the door just like, what time, is it time yet? Is it time yet? So I really felt like, yeah, this was a great benefit for the community, and the families really enjoyed it, that were able to participate. So yeah, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
I also popped in there. As a matter of fact, the last day that you had this event, and all I seen was kids having fun, families. That's what it's about, and I'm all for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And like I said, we will be talking soon. I know.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, everybody involved. Alderman as well. All right. Audience time. Madam Clerk.
Okay. So it's 3 minutes. I got the timer. Josh Beadle?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Alderwoman, Aldermen, audience. I'm Josh Beadle. I'm with Three Brothers Theater. I'm the founder and executive director. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on what we're doing down on Genesee Street. We have a production, Harvey by Mary Chase, playing right now for one final weekend. We've had really tremendous houses so far. We'd love everybody to come out for this final weekend of the show, Friday and Saturday at 7:30. It's a great comedy. If you've ever seen the movie starring Jimmy Stewart, you will not be disappointed by this show. We also have a musical in rehearsals right now, a show called Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson, which takes a kind of tongue-in-cheek look at our 7th president, some of his exploits and some of the not-so-great things that he did. And then we also have, in our smaller space at 115 North Genesee Street, a show by Madeline Sergel opening in April called Taking Turns. We have planned throughout the rest of the year about 12 productions through December, about 100 performance dates between now and the end of the year. Our lease at 221 North Genesee, the former Clockwise Theater, is up at the end of this month, and we would like to formally request renewing that lease without this space at 221 North Genesee. It's very difficult for us to mount all of the things that we have planned for the year, so it's really integral, not so much as not only as a performance venue for us throughout the year, but also as a home base for us to coordinate rehearsals and meetings throughout our organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wygenia Briscoe?
Good evening. Council, about last year, I'm Wygenia Briscoe, which you said. About last year, I came before the council and I had brought a proposal to the council regarding garage sales here in Waukegan. I'm not sure if anything ever happened with that, but just to remind everyone what the proposal was, is that we have so many garage sales that happen here in Waukegan, and we know Saturday was a beautiful, beautiful day. I kind of got in the spirit myself as far as going out in the garden, but we know that garage sales are probably going to start here in Waukegan again. And I have brought forth that the council consider charging a permit for garage sales. And if a permit was not obtained, that a penalty would be charged if you were to have a garage sale without a permit. As a matter of fact, I was just out in Skokie this past weekend, and I saw that they do charge a fee for garage sales in Skokie. So it's not something new that we would be doing here in our community. And then I think at that council meeting that I was at, the questions were being raised about generating revenue. So what a way to also generate revenue here in Waukegan, seeing as how we have so many garage sales here in Waukegan. My concern at the time was that there's so many garage sales that it kind of brings down how the property looks here in Waukegan. That was my concern. But if we could also generate revenue from charging a fee, and now that summertime is coming, I really would like for the council to consider letting, moving forward with this type of recommendation for Waukegan. So that's one thing I want to bring forth. Second thing is, I haven't been here in a while, and I'm assuming someone has brought forth to the council the number of people that we have soliciting for money on the streets in Waukegan. It's grown, and I hope that I'm not the first one that's bringing this to the attention of the council. I do notice as a resident here that there's so many corners now that we now have people out there asking for money. And I would like for something to be done. I don't know if there's a law against it or whatever, but it just seems to me if you go to the corner of like Washington and Green Bay, on every corner now, there's someone standing at every 4 corners, and they're out there every single day. And I'm just using this as an example because there are other corners that we have people that are standing for money. So as a resident here, I would like for the council, 1, to consider about the garage sales, and 2, to do something about the people that are on the street. Thank you.
Thank you. Jack Greenberg?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, audience, my name is Jack Greenberg. I live in the 6th Ward of Waukegan. I want to address this question to Alderman Newsom, and actually Alderman Bolton, who is not here today. At the last meeting, the Judiciary Committee presented motions to grant liquor licenses for 7 businesses here in Waukegan. These motions passed by 7 votes to 2 votes. I would like to know why 2 aldermen who voted nay did so. Would either Alderman Bolton or Alderman Newsom, who is here today, comment about your reasoning?
I can talk to you after the council.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you. Leslie Henry?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Leslie Henry, and I am a mother, and I take my job very seriously. The most important thing to me are my children. A few weeks ago, I got a call that no parent wants to get, and they were telling me that my grandson was being charged with mob action because of that fight at Waukegan School. Now, he's never been in trouble before. And when they called me, I said, well, why is he being charged with mob action for fights that, and boys have always fought. I mean, when I'm not as young now, but when I was a kid, boys fought. And I was wondering why would they bring these type of charges against young men? They're trying to get their lives started. They are needing direction. But to charge them with mob action, which is a criminal offense, I mean, why would you take them from being schoolboys and make them into criminals? And that's what these charges do. And I was very concerned, and I talked to the police, and they were telling me that, well, you know, some people were throwing up gang signs. I was like, well, my child wasn't throwing gang signs. And they said, well, no, he wasn't. You know, and I told them, I said, well, you know what? I know where he is at all times. And they're like, well, you don't know what he's doing. And I was like, well, no, I know what my kids are doing because we talk. They come and tell me. And I think that if something could be done to take these charges off of these students, because there was an outside force that came in, group that came in that riled all this up. And I think that any parent here on the board or anybody in the audience, you don't want that to happen to your child. And I definitely don't want it to happen to my child. And as they began to talk more and more about the gangs and things that they saw as problems, I remember the African proverb that said, a child that is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. You know, and a lot of these kids are crying for help. They need something more. And we need, rather than criminalize them, I think this time could have been used to have brought them into some type of group activity, taught them something, made them work through the summer or something like that. But I think to penalize children, because my grandson has no contact with gang members. But all of a sudden on that particular day, they did bring him in with a gang member. And as the gang member was trying to talk to him and befriend him before I got there, and he told me, he says, well, no, I'm not going to listen to him. I'm not going to listen to him. But it puts kids that are good, that are trying to do the right thing, and all kids, you know, they need direction. And I'm saying even the gang members, and that's why I made that proverb, that the child that is not embraced by the city will come back and burn it down to feel its warmth. We have to stop. We have to do better by our children. You know, we have to do more to embrace them, to make them a part of this community, than criminalize them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Henry. Brother Blanks, you're next.
Brother Blanks, founder and chief president of the Black Abolition Movement for the Mind. First of all, I called the mayor, and I want to thank the mayor for returning my call on this matter. I had a meeting with the chief, so I appreciate them having a meeting with me. This is a matter that concerned me because when I look at, I have a statute here on mob action, and the way the language reads, a person, not student, commits mob action when he or she engages in the following: the knowing or reckless use of force or violence disturbing the public, not school, peace, by two or more people, or two or more people acting. Okay, mob action in violation of paragraph 1 is a class 4 felony, punishable by 1 to 3 years in Illinois state prison. Mob action in violation of paragraph 2 and 3 is a class C misdemeanor, which can result in up to 30 days in the county jail. So when I hear mob action in a school environment, I hear juvenile RICO, because what that does is, regardless of an individual, whether this particular individual have had 1 offense, 2 offense, or in her case, never had a criminal offense at all, they still get hit with mob action. That's a very serious offense for a 15 or a 16-year-old to have following them for the rest of their school or their life. So I really want, and the reason we're here to appeal to the board members, that we want to see what we can do to see that mob action is not utilized on the school premises. As the language read, I think it is more something for a public affair than for a school environment. So, you know, like I said, I spoke with the mayor, I spoke with the chief, and so I'm speaking with the board members now. And this is something that we really don't want on our children, and I don't think either one of you would want to pin that on a 15 or a 16-year-old child of your own. So, you know, take that into consideration. And we're going to be moving forward. I spoke at the county board. I spoke there. And so I'm just touching all bases because, you know, if it was one of my children, that's how I'm looking at it. I think that's a heavy hit for any child to be hit with mob action in a school environment. So that's pretty much what I have. Let me see. So I'll be getting back with you all. Just, you know, take that into consideration. I've talked with the school district, and the kids, we had grown-ups that come up to the school in mass, and our children, the students, when they're at the property, when they're at school, they should be protected and not enforced there. If you got people coming from the outside with bats or whatever, then I think those people should have been arrested because they trespassed and not the students being enforced. Thank you.
Mayor, that concludes audience time.
Okay. And Alderman, if you we're gonna go through for a second. We need to go back to mayor's comments. We have two Waukegan Proud Awards that I missed, and I apologize. It wasn't on the agenda. I thought it was gonna be on the agenda, but it was supposed to be taking care of mayor's comments. If that's okay with everyone? Okay. Janet, will you read the first?
All right. It's the city of Waukegan does hereby present Pastor George Schlief this Waukegan Proud Award for the founding of My Father's Business Outreach Ministry in 2014 at Wesley Free Methodist Church to serve as a safe haven for Waukegan area youth from the age of 4 all the way up to young adulthood to receive brotherhood, mentorship, and most importantly, the gospel message, presented at the City Council meeting on March 19th, 2018.
Read the other one because he's with the city.
Okay. The City of Waukegan does hereby present Detective Matt Thornton this Waukegan Proud Award for the founding of My Father's Business Outreach Ministry in 2014 at Wesley Free Methodist Church to serve as a safe haven for Waukegan area youth from the age of 4 all the way up to the young adulthood to receive brotherhood, mentorship, and most importantly, the gospel message, presented at City Council meeting on March 19, 2018.
Matt, come on up. We'll go right there. First of all, would you like to say anything about what you guys do at the church, man?
Basically, at our, we just open it up to anyone on that really wants to come through. We have an open door policy. We have anyone from 4 years old all the way up to adults that come in. We feed everybody. We let them play. Well, but most importantly, we give them a message every day. We really, right now, we really target high-risk youth, mostly fatherless. Majority of them are fatherless kids, and we try to fill that vacancy with the love that they're missing. And it's been, I can't tell you how many hundreds of kids have come through our program now. It's the Lord's really blessed it, and I give credit where it's due. Give God credit for it. So thank you. I really, really appreciate it.
How many years?
2014 is when we started, so 4 years now. So yeah, we started with 6, and we lost count. Hundreds and hundreds of kids come through now every week. So.
The reason we want to do this is because a lot of our young men are from the Waukegan area. They challenged me in basketball. I haven't gone out there yet, but I thought it was just so important that we highlight the fact that these young men, this is awesome segue to what you were saying. They are looking for some help. They are looking to reach out and ask people to give me some guidance. Here's an opportunity for some of our young men to be a part of that. I'd love for you to, we got some personnel from the school district here, Mr. Blunt, all talking to not particularly our young men. Here it is, opening up, and you're getting a 2-for-1, an opportunity to do some activities they like and get a message. Thank you very much. These are for you and Pastor. We really appreciate what you're doing. And keep it up, man. And we'd love for me to get out there one day and play with them. I don't know what, we might have to call Chief.
Mayor, I was going to suggest you bring Chief back there. I know he's got a jump shot, from what I hear. Enough of it, yeah. He's got a jump shot. You want to bring him down there with you now?
Yeah.
That's Chief Bridges, people. Chief Bridges. Your Honor, real quick, I want to mention another Waukegan Pride. I know you already, you talked about it, but I don't know if anybody remembers Rashawn Melvin. He was an athlete in Waukegan, played football and basketball, and he went to Northern. He walked on at Northern Illinois University for football. Played on the Northern team that played in the Orange Bowl. That was one of their best teams. Went as a free agent in the NFL. Bounced around. He's been with Indianapolis the last 2 years. He just signed a multi-year deal with the Oakland Raiders for around $6.5 million. And this kid has been a grinder ever since I've known him as a freshman. And I'm just so happy for him, because he's just such a great kid, and he's a great Waukegan story, because he just grinds and grinds and grinds and grinds. He wasn't drafted. He didn't have a Division I scholarship. All that stuff he did, he earned. He's bounced around the NFL, and he's finally got his day, and I'm just so happy for him.
You know, and I was, you and I were just talking. I left on Thursday to go to Virginia to watch my daughter Samantha play softball tournament. I run into Melvin, and he says to me, I'm on my way to Oakland. Well, I knew he was playing with Indianapolis, didn't even dawn on me. Then later on that evening, you know, it came out, he signs a $6.7 million contract. And, you know, when we talk about Waukegan Proud, here it is, a young man who just did it.
He just grinds. It's
Had
the
a
grind,
vision,
man, every day the grind.
Probably had some guidance and someone to just say, keep going. But it's that inner being of him that made sure that this is what he wanted to do, and he did it.
Yep.
And I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the inspiration he's bringing to other young men and young ladies in our community.
He usually comes back in the summer.
He does.
I don't know about this summer, but he has come back in the last couple of summers and tries to connect with kids. And he, you know, he's a Waukegan kid, man. He's got a personality as big as this room, you know. But like I said, when he saw you, probably didn't mention it because he's just humble. You know,
Yeah.
he's just got a lot of humility. He's got a great personality, and you know, I'm just so happy for him.
But we get an opportunity, and I mean, what better Waukegan Proud Award that we can give to someone like that? So if we get a chance,
Yeah.
I'm about to say coach, but
No.
Alderman, let's get him up here for that. I mean, this is what we need for our young men and young ladies to see. All right? Thank you very much for mentioning that. All right, item 3, motion by Alderman May, second by Alderman Villalobos, to approve the regular meeting minutes from March 5th, 2018. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Resolutions, item A, we're going to hold over. Item B, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Taylor, to adopt as presented a resolution to support National Coastal Management Program. Any questions to the motion? Noel, did you want to kind of speak on it a little bit, or is Diane here?
Diane's not.
All right, why don't you speak on it real quick for us, please? Thank you.
The National Coastal Management Program is a program through the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, and the federal government. They provide funding to all of the coastal states. Illinois Coastal Management Program receives funding from NOAA, and they have worked with us and other lakeshore communities here very closely. They're the source of several of our grants, including the grant to draft the Sustainable Shoreline Plan, the Lakefront Active Implementation Plan, the Beach Management Plan. They were the funders for our Beachcomber. Some current grants that are on your grant list that you received tonight for some signage and things like that. And Diane Tessick, who is the Executive Director of the Coastal Management Program for the state of Illinois through the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, is a tremendous asset for us. She's a member of our waterfront working group that meets monthly here in City Hall to talk about our lakefront with our partners. And they've really been terrific for us. They're having some budget struggles at the national level trying to stay funded, which of course trickles down. So this is a way for us to support them and to express our position that they're very beneficial for all coastal communities, not just Waukegan, but we specifically have benefited from the funding and our community has benefited.
Alderman Mady, would you like to say anything regarding?
She said it all, but I concur.
All right. Yeah, Diane is, well, she's a spark plug, and she loves our beach, doesn't she? They're working right now, if I'm not mistaken, Noel, they're working with the Port Authority to have their own little office right here in Waukegan, correct?
They are.
All right. All right, there. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Seager, to approve April as Fair Housing Month proclamation. Any questions? You want to read the?
Okay. Proclamation. April is Fair Housing Month. Whereas April 11th, 2018 marks the 50th anniversary of the passage of the United States Fair Housing Law, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended, which enunciates a national policy of fair housing without regard to race, color, religion, sex, familial status, handicap, and national origin, and encourages fair housing opportunities for all citizens. And whereas on this landmark anniversary, we honor the pioneers who bravely worked to challenge and overcome housing discrimination. And whereas individuals in the state of Illinois have the right to choose where to live without discrimination based on race, color, religion, age, 40 and over, sex, including sexual harassment and pregnancy, familial status, marital status, national origin, ancestry, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, military status, unfavorable military discharge, and order of protection status. And whereas the National Association of Realtors Code of Ethics commits all realtors to providing equal professional services without discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, familial status, handicap, sexual orientation, gender identity, and national origin. And whereas acts of housing discrimination and barriers to equal housing opportunity are repugnant to a common sense of decency and fairness. And whereas the City of Waukegan welcomes the opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to the principle of fair housing for all, and is committed to all efforts that address discrimination in our communities, support all programs that will educate the public concerning their rights to equal housing opportunity, and to assure every person their right to live free of the fear of housing discrimination for the next 50 years and beyond. Now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Cunningham and members of the City Council of Waukegan, Illinois, do hereby proclaim that April 2018 is Fair Housing Month in Waukegan, and this begins a year-long commemoration of the U.S. Fair Housing Law. And be it further resolved that a suitably embossed copy of this resolution, signed by the mayor and city clerk, be presented at the city council meeting on the 19th day of March, 2018.
All right, we'll make sure we get, is there anyone here today? I didn't think, we'll make sure it gets out to the right person. I think Howard Hamler from the Realtors. All right.
Your Honor, I'm on the Lake County Fair Housing Board. Yeah.
Sounds like Greg is going to be.
Well, don't give it to me. You know better to give me papers.
All right, we'll get it to Howard. That's who had asked us to get that done for us. So yeah, we still need to do a roll call. Jen?
Okay. Roll call. Alderman May. Aye. Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Motion by Alderman Seager, second by Alderman Mozio, to ratify the appointment to Stakeholders Participation Panel of the CBDG. In attendance tonight, would you please stand? Mr. Alonzo Jenkins. All right. CDBG, yeah, okay. Yeah, Mr. Jenkins will be one of the stakeholders on the participation panel. We thank you for your time and service. Now you have to tell the wife, not only you have to do your 8 hours, you have to come back and work out with this, but this is something that you've been looking forward to do. So congratulations to you and your family, and we look forward to working with you and improving the city of Waukegan. Thank you, sir, for your time and service. Appreciate it. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman May. Aye. Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Special Insurance Committee, Alderman Taylor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
A motion authorizing the proper city officials to settle public workers' compensation claim C645-17-10267-01 for a total of $31,585, and I so move.
A motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. Finance Committee, Alderman Valco.
Thank you. The first thing the committee did this evening was to approve the Yeoman Creek Remediation Group YCRG 2018 budget, authorizing payment of $217,618. Funding from the line item was 100-7129-24636. And what this is the city of Waukegan is a member of the Yeoman Creek Remediation Group by federal decree. The other members include BFI, Waukegan School District, Goodyear, and Dexter. Annually, YCRG determines a budget for operations and maintenance, monitoring, repairs relative to the Yeoman Creek Superfund site. For 2018, the total budget was $630,000, and the city share was $218,000. And funding was provided via the city's general corporate fund. And I so move, sir.
Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Newsome. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Next item on the list was to approve the purchase of firefighter personal protective equipment from Lion Group Incorporated. The committee voted to award NPP Gov joint purchasing contract to Lion Group Incorporated for firefighter personal protective gear in an amount not to exceed $33,000 for the fiscal year ending April 30th, 2018. And funding is from line item 100-301-925469. The City of Waukegan Fire Department must procure personal protective equipment for its firefighters. Using a national cooperative procurement agency, the Waukegan Fire Department identified a competitive bid by NPP Gov that met their needs. NPP Gov is a national cooperative procurement organization based in Seattle, Washington, that offers publicly solicited government entities nationwide. Membership is entirely complimentary with no purchasing obligations and meets the Government Joint Purchasing Act 30 ILCS 525 criteria, which everybody in the audience knows by now. We're trying to get away from either just going out and get bids. People like this cooperative agency, they go out, and this is like the government funding where you go out and you get squad cars and you get other things from a sole source provider. And Mayor, I so move, sir.
Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Seager. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Next item on the list was to adopt a resolution authorizing the sale of property, and the committee voted to adopt a resolution authorizing the sale of property located at 854 Adams Street by the City of Waukegan. The property located is commonly known as 854 Adams, PIN number 828-317022-0000, within the corporate limits of the City of Waukegan, and was obtained previously with the advice and consent of the corporate authorities of the City of Waukegan. And it is now in the best interest for the city to sell property to Jose Chinchilla by quit claim deed. And I so move, sir.
Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Villalobos. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Last item that the Finance Committee took into consideration this evening was to approve the contract with Power, Rogers, and Smith LLP and Burke, Burns, and Pinelli Limited. This item was held over by myself at the March 5th meeting, the March 5th Special Finance Committee meeting. And the committee voted this evening to authorize Corporation Counsel to retain the law firm of Power, Rogers, and Smith LLP and Burke, Burns, and Pinelli pursuant to the attached draft contract. The engagement would be limited to investigating, identifying, and prosecuting legal claims against property owners and businesses which have left a legacy of polluted properties which have not been appropriately remediated. The fees and costs are proposed to be on a contingency basis, meaning that only in the event of a recovery will the attorney fees and costs be paid. For those out there in the audience and later on TV, we agreed to a contract just like when you go for an automobile accident or a personal claim, 33 1/3% goes to these people that are going on our behalf, plus expenses, which I found out by calling other people today, there's the norm. So the committee voted this evening, sir, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Newsome. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
That's all, sir.
Okay, all the motions passed and carried. Public Works, Alderman Newsome.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item A, motion to authorize the proper city officials to approve change order number 1 for the 2017 tank hatch repair project for an amount not to exceed $122,217.53. This change order is for an additional $13,317.53. Funds will be charged to line item 555-916027-108. And after this work was started, the original bid was, for the work was $108,900. After the work was started, there was some other issues, additional work needed, so it's been completed and we owe that $13,317.53. And I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Seager. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye. Item B, motion to authorize the proper city officials to accept the quote for the new Gulf Mars SCADA tower antenna and coax replacement from BN Controls of Geneva, Illinois, for an amount not to exceed $15,875 for their services provided per Section 2-458I5. Funds will be charged to line item 555-9155-25468, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman May. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye. Item C, motion to authorize the proper city officials to participate with the State of Illinois Central Management Services for the procurement of our road salt for the next fiscal year, provided under a joint purchasing program per Section 2-458I3. This will be for a not-to-exceed amount of $300,000. Funds will be charged to line item 228-9228-25485, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Taylor. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye. Item D, motion to authorize the proper city officials to approve change order number 3 for the 2017 street maintenance contract for an amount not to exceed $1,936,929.87. This change order is for an additional $185,000. Funds are currently charged to various line items, and this is additional $185,000 that we will be putting into road improvements. And I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Seager. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May. Aye. Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Okay, motion, all motions passed and carried. Reports and communication. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Villalobos, to accept the monthly treasury report.
Mayor, the monthly treasury report is every month. We report last month, February, at the Finance Committee or the second aldermanic meeting. It's filed with the clerk, and it's on our website. Anybody can take a look at it, and if you have any questions, please call the treasurer's office.
All right. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May. Aye. Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Hold 1 second.
Doc, are you gonna do 2017 AAB? Nothing, right?
Did you see
All right.
We're back.
No, he usually gives them to us.
All right. Item number B, we're going to hold over for next council meeting. Sorry about that, everyone.
2017.
Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Mozio, to approve zoning calendar 2541, conditional use permit for the 100 Cellular Tower, 2015 North Lewis Avenue, and I think, I stand correct, that's being held over as well?
Yes, staff would request that you hold it over 2 more weeks.
Okay.
We did get a revised plan from the petitioner, but we're asking our new engineering firm to review it with the rest of the staff, just to make sure that it meets all of our guidelines, and we had some concerns about stormwater and things, so.
Okay. Alderman May, I'm gonna put this to you as a holdover because of
Sure.
Mr. Fairman. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This is being held over by Alderman May. Item 10, new business. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Taylor, to approve vendor payments dated March 19, 2018, in total amount of $1,248,435.61. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May. Aye. Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. Item B, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Seager, to approve regular payroll dated March 16, 2018, a total amount of $1,480,379.78. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May. Aye. Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
The motion is passed and carried. Item C, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Villalobos, to approve comp times cash out payroll dated March 2nd, 2018, in a total amount of $1,970.79. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May. Aye. Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Newsome, to approve final payout. Names dated on the agenda, dated March 2nd, 2018, in total amount of $37,524.17. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May. Aye. Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. Item E, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman May, to approve holiday buyback dated March 2nd, 2018, a total amount of $4,213.78. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman May. Aye. Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. Motion by Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman Villalobos, to approve outdoor special events. The sponsor has applied under the directive for non-city/government use of city-owned buildings and venues. Any questions to the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. Ordinances, there being none. Closing items, Alderman's time. Madam Clerk.
Alderman May.
Thank you. I just have a couple of things. I just want to congratulate Mr. Thornton on his Waukegan Proud Award. He probably thinks I'm crazy, but I do follow you because your childhood babysitter is a good friend of mine. She lives out in D.C. So she would be very proud of you. I'll make sure to send her the picture I took of you. But running charities like this are not free. So my father's business has a GoFundMe page. If anyone's so interested, he's truly helping hundreds of children every week, and lots of local businesses donate to him, or it's really easy. You can go online and My Father's Business on GoFundMe. So thank you for what you do. Panhandling. Ms. Briscoe, we've been talking about that for years, and so in the state of Illinois, the panhandling is protected under the free speech, under the Act of Free Speech, so it's not illegal unless there's aggressive panhandling. So I hear what you say and I see what you see. It's Sunset and Lewis in my ward. I've discussed this issue before with Joel Williams over at PADS, who works with a lot of the homeless in our community, and that doesn't mean that every panhandler goes to PADS, because maybe some of them are clients of PAD, and maybe some of them aren't even homeless. The best thing, and he would suggest this too, is don't give them money. Don't give them money. If they're not getting money, they won't keep going to that location. I was parked behind a car today that was, actually I saw the lady hand him a McDonald's bag, which I thought, of course. But even the people who work with the homeless, they say the best solution to panhandling is not to give money to the people panhandling, but give money to the organizations that help the homeless. So support your PADS, support Cool Pantries, support those organizations that help our homeless. But if they aren't getting paid at the corner that they're standing at, they will find a new corner. So that's really the best we can do, unless they're aggressively going after our residents or the citizens. They're not doing anything illegal. So we hear you. And my only last thing is yard waste started March 15th, which was this weekend. So look forward to seeing everyone getting out and cleaning up, sprucing up their yards for the spring. Thanks, everyone.
Alderman Velco.
Thank you. I was going to touch base on the panhandling / corner panhandling, just to piggyback on Alderman May, 2 different types. You're walking down the street, hey, you got a quarter? It's not aggressive. Guy comes up to you in your face, give me a quarter, it's aggressive panhandling. There is a law for that. 2 different types. Hey, you got 10 cents for a cup of coffee? Well, that's when I was a kid. You got $1 for a cup of coffee? That's not against the law. To address your question for the corners, it happened about 2 years ago, because guys were coming, and women, were going out into the street, obstructing traffic and everything else. Now you see them, and they're smart. They got the sign, homeless, please feed me, or we'll work for food, whatever. As long as they don't come into the street, if you toot your horn and you say, come, and I've done it, okay? Middle of winter, it's 15 degrees below zero outside, I've called them over through the passenger window, given them the money. They can't approach your car until you tell them to come, and that's a law now, all right? So it is what it is. The second thing I want to address tonight, a couple of council meetings ago, we had a problem here. I don't want to say a problem. We had a discussion with cell towers. In fact, part of it just got held over again tonight. And Alderman Taylor was not in agreement with the variance. And she said, not verbatim, in a roundabout way, what are we going to have, cell towers on all the corners? And me thinks, yeah, right. So my apologies to my esteemed colleague on my left, because in the paper, in the perspective section of the Trib, an article written by Steve Chirico, who is the mayor of Naperville, and Richard Irving, who is the mayor of Aurora, touches just on that problem. A towering problem, Illinois poll tax. Making calls, sending texts, streaming videos. We all want faster, better, and more reliable wireless service these days. But Illinois residents need to ask, at what cost? When it comes to quality of life, Illinois taxpayers could soon bear the burden of the cellular industry's 5G technology. And here it comes, folks, so listen close. The Small Wireless Facilities Deployment Act, Senate Bill 1451, gives big telecom companies carte blanche to place small cell antennas the size of refrigerators, in some cases, on streetlights and utility poles in the public right-of-way in towns across the state. The bill, which was passed by the General Assembly last fall, is currently on the governor's desk. URSUPS, which means it goes against local authority and the rights of your municipalities for the economic gain of a thriving industry. Included in the lack of local authority is a cap on how much cities and villages could charge cell companies for the private commercial use of public property and municipal-owned infrastructure. The legislation conveniently exempts, I'm not even going into what city it was. Preempting local authority will just lead to less zoning authority and more problems, less zoning authority. What's next? The state requiring corporate advertising on the sidewalk outside of your home? The DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference, which represents more than 1 million residents, formally opposes the current legislation. Subsidizing big telecom companies for the network build-out amounts to a corporate bailout, essentially a poll tax on residents. The towers in question are called small cells because their transmission don't carry very far. As a result, more are needed, creating a picket fence-like effect of metal barnacles hanging above the streets. Under this legislation, those eyesores can raise more than 5 stories above the tallest utility pole. Moreover, the small cell epidemic isn't confined to Illinois. From places to the Midwest, as far as the Midwest as Cleveland, and as progressive as Austin, Texas, cities across the U.S. are fighting to stop the small cell legislation. And I'm not going to read the rest of the article, but you get the gist. It's ridiculous. So the bill again is Senate Bill 1451, 1451. Call your senator, state senator, and get this thing off the books. Or call the governor's office and have him do not sign it. On a much happier note, for those of you that go to the airport, the air show at the airport, or just use it on Sundays to go up with your kids to watch the airplanes play, IDOT, the Illinois Department of Transportation, has awarded a grant to the Waukegan National Airport to widen and resurface Macquarie Road from Edgewood north to where Macquarie Road ends on the airport property. The work is anticipated to be begun in May and is expected to be completed by midsummer 2018. And that's all I have right now.
Thank you. Alderman Taylor.
Thank you. First off, I want to thank Alderman Valco, because I honestly, sometimes it's hard when you're the only one in the crowd that votes against something, so thank you. And yes, I have read about this in other cities, and it is something that I have been very concerned about happening in our city. So thank you. I just want to piggyback a little bit on the solicitation. It is getting bad in our city. All along Green Bay Road has become an issue, and they are professional solicitors. Tonight, coming to City Council, they even have reflective vests. They're prepared. They have multi-coats. They're ready. But if you watch some of the Facebook, particularly by another trustee from another city, he's gone up to many of them, and they do this for a living. And so the best advice I can give you is do not help them. Let other agencies help them, but the more you give them, the more they're going to be there. And believe me, they were out on all corners tonight.
Yep.
So it's getting worse. Yes, yes. And many of them, and it happens not just in our city, but other cities, once you ask them if they like a job, because they'll sometimes post, you know, looking for a job, they don't want a job. They want you to pay them there. So some people are truly homeless and need to be directed into the right places. Others are making a living doing this. So this city has a very big heart, and sometimes it's not always a good thing. Last, I want to bring up, it's turning into spring. I know this last weekend we had a gorgeous day. I want to ask people to please, during the winter, we've had a lot of people throw out their garbage and their lids have been unsecured, and we have garbage all over the city. Please take these nice days, take your kids out in the yard, clean up this garbage that's in between your bushes. Let's make our city pretty. We don't need, we have a city plan to beautify our city, but it starts in your own home. Go out with your kids, use these days, and work in your yard. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Seager.
Yes.
Alderman Mozio.
Yeah, I'm not going to hit on the panhandling. Enough of the aldermen have done that. Along cell towers, that's a good article, Alderman Valco, but I think we all know this runs the world. That's an uphill battle. Cell companies and communication companies, used to be the newspapers run the world, not anymore. These guys run it. Because there's more people in the world that have this than probably ever read a newspaper. So that's an uphill battle. People want service, they want it now, and they want it fast. So, you know, it's a monumental effort to try to stop it. It's a tidal wave, and it's coming. Not a whole lot we can do about it unless everybody rises up against it. Garage sales, great point. Mayor, we talked last year about this at the same time. I'm not opposed to charging people. I don't know the logistics of that and if we could do it, but if it could fund a code officer on the weekends, I am all for it, because that's the majority of the time that those things go on. We don't have code enforcers right now on the weekends, but that's when we need them. I've texted you many times last year, Mayor, about, and we got some people, like we said, they're selling diapers and paper towels, and they're selling household goods all the time, every weekend, for crying out loud. You know, you're not a convenience store. So I'd like to get a handle on it if we can, Mayor. I'm not opposed to charging a nominal fee, $25. That everybody can, if you're going to sell stuff, you can handle $25. You're going to make that much, probably, at least, I hope. So I'd like to get that taken care of, because we all know it's all the frequent flyers, and we got to send people over there and all that. So I don't know what the fee would be. The ordinance right now says 3 a year, correct? Am I right? 3 garage sales at 1 residence a year. Come on.
3 consecutive days, 3 times a year.
Right.
They have to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That counts as 1.
Right.
Only 3 times.
Right. So we have an ordinance, we just have not, because of our employment schedule of our code enforcement, it's hard for us to enforce it. So we got to do a better job of enforcing it, and like I said, if we can charge a fee, and that fee can help offset some of the costs for our code enforcers going out on the weekend, I am all for it. I'll make that motion the next meeting if we can make it happen. Thank you.
Alderman Villalobos.
Yes, I got a couple of things I just want to mention. Number one, something that happened in the past. I was able to attend the One Earth Film Festival's screening of Dolores, at the Waukegan Public Library a weekend or two ago. For those who don't know, the One Earth Film Festival happens annually in Lake County, and they screen movies that are usually environmentally based or social justice based throughout Lake County. So Waukegan has hosted for a couple of years here, and Dolores is the story of Dolores Huerta, who worked hand in hand in lockstep with Cesar Chavez for the migrant workers movement. It was an eye-opening movie for me, so I recommend those out there in the audience to take a chance and watch it. It inspired me to see what this woman did at the sacrifice of her own personal life and of her children, the difficulties of that. But for those of you, like I believe in getting more people engaged in our community, and sometimes it is social activism like that, or something to that degree. I invited high school students to attend it. Unfortunately, I didn't see any of them there, but again, this is just some of the things that we can do to kind of raise awareness and how to inspire us to be more engaged within our community and society as a whole. Other thing coming up for the future, I spoke to Charlotte Callahan-Wozniak. Her and her husband Marty put together the Clean the Amstuds events. So I got the dates for the Clean the Studs. There's 4 Saturdays. Saturday, April 28th, Saturday, June 23rd, Saturday, July 28th, and Saturday, September 22nd. So mark your calendars for those. I intend to be at least one, if not all of those events. I am, as those of you know, am big about picking up trash in the community too. So throwing that out to you for you guys for the future. All right, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Alderman Newsome. Yes, I've had that issue with the yard sales in my ward, but not what we would call a yard sale. It is, my take on it, professional couponers that get these items and then they sell them out of their garages. So I would like to propose that we put this into Judiciary Committee so we can come up and streamline what constitutes a yard sale and the option with the permit, that we put that into the Judiciary Committee. But they're smart too, because now they don't bring the items out on the weekend to sell them. What they do is have someone call them, and then they'll bring them into their garage and allow them to shop with the doors closed and then get their items that way. So we have to put our thinking caps on to see what we can do to, even, well, or if that's something that they want to do, we need to put a permit amount on it, So, I mean, actually, it is a business, and if it's found that they're doing it, I think they should be fined for it. But you got to catch them, and then that's like again on the weekend you have to catch them doing it. But they, like I said, they're being smart when there's no code officers on the weekend, so you have to call a police officer and they have to catch them in the act. So it's kind of difficult, but I propose we put that into a Judiciary Committee so we can throw around some ideas on what we can do. And that's all I have.
So move. I'm going to say this real quick. The panhandling issue, I agree with the alderman. I think a lot of these guys are professional, particularly those on Green Bay Road. In my opinion, most of them are not in distress. They are there doing something, trying to either gain money that day, or part of, I think it's a group of them along the Green Bay Road. And I'm going to send a SOS out to other communities, because other communities are sending people to Waukegan. That's a fact. Go to the train station, see people get off the train, and just ask them casually, and they'll tell you, I was sent up here, I was paid to come up to Waukegan, Illinois. So that's something else we have to take a look at. And, if you're having problems in your community, I strongly suggest that you try to deal with it as we do. But to send a distressed person up here or potentially distressed person up here, the mere fact to get them out of your community, because we do have those big hearts. We have the agencies that are here to help folks within the Lake County. So that is compounding our problem, ma'am. But I personally stopped. I stopped on Green Bay Road and told the person, they was in the middle, the middle island, Alderman Valco, and I said, you can't be here, you need to go to the other side. Well, he don't know who I am. So I did a Yui, parked my car right in the front and told him, either you move or we'll have you removed. And I wasn't trying to be mean, but he was being a distraction. Go to where you're supposed to, right on the corners over there, and you can handle your business. It's a little bit upsetting sometimes, but it's, you're taking advantage of people who really want to help you out. That's simply what's going on here, on some of them. The others, if they're in distress, then I think we have enough agencies around Waukegan and close to each other that you can get what you need. But just to come up here to get dollars to go feed whatever you're feeding or whatever organization you're with, that's wrong. In due time, we'll find a law that will help us out. But thank you very much for noticing that. But more importantly, thank you, Waukegan folks, for understanding that. The garage sales, I agree with you, with everybody on that. We're going to be working with code enforcement to try to get us a body out on that. You got to catch the right time. That 11 to 2, 11 to 3, those are the hot times. I'm out, I drive, and I'll pull over and tell them, I do the Larry Tempest, have my little city badge and say, hey, with the mayor's office, what are you doing? But we're going to try to get that out as best as we can. But I like that idea of making them come in and get a permit. At least we can kind of keep an eye on who is getting the permit, who the people are. And last but not least, everybody, particularly with these small sales. When I went up to Springfield to introduce myself, that was a bill on the floor at that time. I didn't know what they were talking about, but it was a hot bill. It's a hot bill, and if some of you can remember when AT&T came in and they wanted to put those boxes on our corners everywhere? Well, originally they came in, they had to get a building permit from the cities in order to do that. Well, they got smart. They went in and had the state legislators bypass the cities where we couldn't do permits so we can limit the number, and next thing you know, they were popping up everywhere. Tomorrow is the day that all residents, all people in the United States of America, U.S. citizens, registered to vote, tomorrow is the day of reckoning. It's voting time. I'm encouraging all of you. If you don't want these small towers, let them know. This is the time. Traditionally, Waukegan, we have been the lowest voter turnout. The lowest voter turnout in the county. I'm issuing a challenge to all voters of Waukegan. This is a time for you to voice your vote. Was it 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.? It is the time. Emily, I hope you get that tonight. This is the time. It's voting time tomorrow. Waukegan, let's up our at least 35% turnout. Bare minimum, 35% turnout. And I promise you, those folks in Springfield or DC, they will hear you, particularly when it comes to these small cell towers. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Motion by Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman May to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Motion is passed and carried.